let's talk about loneliness. In a recent study, 40% of people in Generation Z reported feeling lonely very often, with the highest rates of loneliness occurring when they make the transition out of high school into the next stage of their lives. Across all age groups, about 1 in 3 people say they experience loneliness in their lives. Now, I think this number is actually higher, but this is what the research shows. Talking about loneliness is an important topic for me to address on my channel because it relates to Bullying Prevention Month, which is going on right now in October, as well as overall mental health. So today I'm going to talk more about the epidemic of loneliness, what contributes to loneliness, and how you can take steps to help yourself if you're experiencing loneliness right now. As I was researching for this vlog, I found 7 factors that exacerbate loneliness, that make loneliness greater. Number 1, overstimulation, especially from technology. Number 2, daily demands and stress from work or school. Number 3, being addicted to smartphones. Number 4, eating meals alone. Number 5, the COVID pandemic and lockdowns. Number 6, experiencing a breakup or losing a friend. Number 7, going through big changes in the family. An 8th factor that relates to technology and phones is social media. That's right, social media can contribute to loneliness. I found this quote from one of the doctors interviewed for an article. It says this: social media is trying to satisfy a craving to feel connected, but seeing people have fun without you may escalate feelings of loneliness that already are present. I'll post links to all these articles in the caption of this video. But the bottom line is that people are missing human connections, and one contributing factor is that they are isolating themselves by spending a lot of time on their phones. And I think it's so unfortunate that relationships often take a back seat to phones. Have you seen this? A group of friends is sitting at a table, yet no one is talking to each other because they're all on their phones. Now, I have nothing against phones. And actually, my husband is always challenging me on this because I tend to be the one stuck on my phone. But I think we can all see the detrimental effects of this. It's concerning to think about a world without meaningful relationships. So as I mentioned earlier, it's Bullying Prevention Month. And I also see loneliness among students when I visit schools. It's so heartbreaking to hear stories from students who are bullied, or they tell me they don't have any friends. And this honestly happens more frequently than I can even believe. I've shared in my book and other videos how I was a social butterfly in middle and high school. But when I first got to college, and again in my later 20s, I went through periods of time where I felt very lonely. In college, I realized that I couldn't just wait for people to knock on my dorm room door and ask to be my friend. So I put myself out there and purposely found places to get friends, to make friends. And I forced myself to get involved on campus and attend events, and that helped me make friends and not feel lonely. Around my 29th birthday, I was going through another period of loneliness. And I remember sitting in my office and thinking, I am so lonely. I need to do something to pull myself out of this. So that day, I made the conscious decision that instead of being alone on my birthday, I was going to invite some friends to go out to eat with me. I didn't wait around for someone to ask me or to make plans. I just reached out and made it happen. It was my decision whether I wanted to sit home and feel lonely or figure out a way to be with my friends. Now, I share this story with you because I think that some instances of loneliness are within our own control. If we're feeling lonely, we can choose to be proactive and do something about that. I have someone close to me in my life who often tells me that she feels lonely, and I have to remind her that people won't just appear and ask to be friends. She needs to put herself out there. So what does this look like? If you're in school right now, get involved. Pick a sport or a club and meet people with similar interests. Youth groups at church are another great way to make friends. You can also volunteer in your community. The same advice can be applied to you if you're not in school right now. Be proactive and get involved in something. Join a gym and go to a group exercise class. Join a support group or join a church and get involved in a small group study. Join a recreational sports league or reach out to a nonprofit and see what kind of volunteers they need. Another great idea for making new friends is something I saw in a video from another creator online. She suggested finding a weekly thing that you always do, and then when you meet someone that you think you might want to be friends with, you just invite them to that weekly thing. It makes it super low pressure and also gives a specific time, date, and place for getting together, so you're not stuck in the limbo of trying to make plans that work in everyone's schedule. So for example, say you're over age 21. You can have a happy hour that you always go to for discounted food and drinks. Or if you have a dog, you can go to a dog park at the same time every week. Another idea works for parents of young kids. You can go to the same park every week at the same time and invite people to join you. Be creative with this. I bet you can find something that you enjoy doing that you can invite people to over time to cultivate new friendships. You can also just be more proactive with the friends that you do have to deepen those relationships and combat feelings of loneliness. Reach out and ask when they'd be available to go out for coffee or lunch. People are not mind readers. They don't know you want to hang out unless you tell them. And I know it can seem scary, but just taking one small step like this can make a huge difference. Another thing to remember is that to attract friends, you need to be a friend yourself. I've met people who were just not friendly or kind to others, and as a result, they don't have friends. Remember, presenting your best self, including maintaining good hygiene and being friendly, really matters. So if that's you, self-reflect on the way you come across and adjust yourself so that you can be the kind of person whom others want to be friends with. Just doing simple actions like smiling, making eye contact, and complimenting people can be the first step. Now, of course, I am not saying that you should be something that you're not. I want you to be you, and you deserve to have friends who love you for who you are, but I do want you to present your best self. Focus on your strengths and use those strengths to be a good friend. Now, what happens if you did have a close friendship or relationship and it ended or somebody passed away? Navigating a breakup of a romantic relationship or a friendship or the loss of a loved one can be incredibly tough. I've been there, and I've felt the all-consuming pain when things end. My first major breakup left me heartbroken and led to unhealthy habits like moping and feeling sorry for myself. I'll post a link in the caption for a video that goes deeper into this topic. I've also lost friendships and had to go through a grieving process when friendships ran their course. I'll post another video link in the caption that talks about what to do when that happens. Grieving is important, and if you're grieving right now, I encourage you to watch the video about grief in the caption. But there does come a point with grief that we need to move forward. As hard as it is, and as impossible as it may seem, we have to do our best to move forward from that pain. It's so hard when you lose companionship, but focusing on it can consume you, and it's not healthy, especially in the long run. What helped me was creating a gratitude list and forcing myself to read it every day and every time I was feeling sorry for myself or overwhelmed by negative thoughts. I also recommend opening up to others about how you're feeling. Seeing a counselor or a therapist can also be immensely helpful because they can help you process your feelings and identify areas that you can work on. So if you're feeling lonely right now, take a small step today to get yourself out there. You can be proactive to decrease your feelings of loneliness. I want to challenge you to try one of the things I talked about today. And there's one more thing I want you to remember, and it's the acronym for HOPE. Hold on, pain ends. Just like my shirt says, hold on, pain ends. Thank you for tuning in today, and be sure to leave me a comment if you found this helpful. Thanks.